Welcome back, everybody, to the Rope Break. I am your host, like always, the genius, Jeff Wolf, and I am alongside my partner in crime, Eric Vanek.
The 9 behind the 9 in 999. That is me, Eric Vanek.
Oh, which means I would actually punch you, because I literally did not watch Raw this week because of that crap. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. We are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about the overuse of $9.99, the push of the network. Wasn't a huge week in professional wrestling this week, but little things happen here and there. Yeah, so I think we might as well just get right into it with Raw. Eric's going to be mostly talking about Raw this week. As I said, I didn't really watch it. Here's my deal with the whole $9.99 thing. I'm okay with you pushing that. Every once in a while, you show some videos. You do. I was even okay with Triple H overusing it in that first segment. But then once we got into the actual show in the first match, and like the King, here's my big thing. Like my breaking point was this: the King says that one of the guys had the count of $9.99 to get up, or the match was over. I was done. I was done after that happened. And it's like, it's funny to think about now, and everyone's making all these funny graphics and everything about $9.99, and it's cute. That literally drove me up a wall, and I would have canceled the network on the spot. Not that my $9.99 was going to hurt them in any way, really. But at the same time, if you're saying it's only $9.99, then what does it matter for fans to pay $9.99? It's not that big of a deal, right?
Yeah, they're just trying to get more subscribers, and I think what they were trying to do is try and get the $9.99 to trend on Twitter and all that, so people would notice it and see it and wonder what the hell it is and sign up. And I mean, they're hurting for money. They're just trying anything now. That's basically what it is.
I get that, and I think it's going to go way up after like the UK and Canada gets a hold of it and everything, because there really is a huge market that's just not in the States. So I think everything's going to be fine. I mean, I know that,
but they're losing so much money. It's like they're like on the verge of like.
Do you think they're going to just cancel the network?
No, I don't think they're going to cancel the network. I think they have too much time and money into it already. But it's like they already canceled WWE Magazine.
Yeah,
like that's been going on for years.
People are getting released left and right now.
Yeah, like they fired today the timekeeper at ringside, and he's been with the company probably since like the 80s.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean they just cut him today.
I saw that they cut someone. I wasn't sure who they cut.
Yeah, they cut the timekeeper, the guy who would always toss Stone Cold beers and stuff.
Yeah.
That they fired that guy today because just budget cuts and stuff. And honestly, it's like, what does a timekeeper really do in wrestling? You know.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal anymore. You don't really have time limits, and I mean I can't even tell you the last time I remember a time limit draw.
No, not in WWE.
Yeah, so
probably an Iron Man match.
Yeah, that's only the last times you ever know about time, pretty much.
Yeah. So they don't call them that anymore. Yeah,
so it's like, you back in the day, it'd be like, oh, this match is scheduled for a 10-minute time limit, and they would, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's obsolete. So, I mean, it just sucks that somebody loses their job, though, that's been with the company for so long. I mean, they're just, like you said, they're cutting people left and right. I mean, they're not hiring anybody. They're trying to just cut as much money as they can. They already, they cut the magazine. They cut
Teddy Long.
Well, obviously. They cut, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, like the production trucks. Like, they used to carry, like, they'd be like 26 production trucks that would go to each Raw and SmackDown, and they've cut that down to, like, 15, 16 trucks now.
Yeah.
They're saving money that way. I mean, they're just pyros and stuff. They're trying to cut down on pyros for pay-per-views and big events and all that, like, so they don't have to do pyros anymore and save money that way. Like, they are going to the extreme to do this. And like, I thought I read something where WWE's scheduled to lose $150 million this coming year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like...
But didn't they have enough time to think about this network and everything? Like, this has been in the...
But I don't
10
get...
years.
But I don't get how it's costing them that much money.
I don't either. Like, I want someone to explain this to me. Like, I almost wanted to research it so in depth so I could explain it to everyone that actually watches this, all two of you. But I really don't get it. I don't get how they can be losing this much money. Like, I know that they were expecting more buys at this point, but I don't see how it's not like you got no buys. You got the majority of the buys that you were looking for. I just don't get how they're losing so much money.
I don't think it's just the network. I think it's like also has to do with some of the newer stuff they've bought, like pretty much buying the Performance Center and doing all that. I mean, I'm sure that costs a boatload of money.
Oh yeah, that's a nice Performance Center.
Yeah,
with a lot of high tech equipment in there.
Yeah, so I mean, they've spent a pretty big chunk of money, and they're just not getting the money back that they think they should. I mean, I think their expectations for the network were a lot higher than what is actually happening, and they figured it out for, okay, we're going to do this much money, we can spend this much, and, well, they didn't make that much money. So they're kind of just hurting and trying to cut back, but it's massive cutbacks. It's not like little cutbacks.
No, it's not just like something small here and something small there. It just keeps piling on. Like, every day it seems that something new is being cut. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, the magazine isn't a huge deal. But as, like, a nostalgic fan like myself, to me that's huge. Because ever since I can remember the WWF, they've had the magazine.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I enjoyed growing up reading that magazine. I still to this day would go into a store, I mean, not buy the magazine unless it was a really special kind of cover. Like, I bought a Shawn Michaels cover like 2 years ago, and like I bought the cover of Miz when he first won the WWE title. But I mean, for the most part, I wouldn't buy the magazine. But it was always fun to just go into stores and look at the poster or whatever.
I remember back in the day, I just looked at the divas in it.
Yeah, like it's just something that you kind of expected that it would always be there, and now it's not. And if that has to do with the network, that just seems odd that it's like they would be losing this much just because of the network. I feel there's something there that's just not getting told yet, and it's going to come out at some point. But it's like, if the network is really this detrimental to them, I don't see how they can keep it going. But at the same time, like you said, they put so much money into this. It's like, and Vince McMahon hates to lose. He hates to give up that quickly. So I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, I mean, it seems bad, and it seems really bad, and it's weird that it's like it's such a negative for them, because you never really see this much of a negative for them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But other than that, what did you think of Raw? Because you actually watched the majority of it. What were your thoughts on the show?
I thought it was just an average show. Again, you had the Authority come out at the beginning there and do all that stuff, promote the network, set up something with Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns interrupted them, and he got set up into a last man standing match. To start the show, and that was against Kane in a last man standing match. So, that match was decent. It was average. It wasn't like oh my goodness, match of the year candidate or anything. It was just a solid match. They fought on the outside. Roman hit his main moves. Kane got in a choke slam or two. It was just an average match, nothing special. I'm just trying to remember things that I remember.
Yeah, I know, like, just things that I just know just based off looking at the SummerSlam card. It looks like things were, like, finalized with, like, Miz and Dolph Ziggler. We're going to get that match at SummerSlam, and so I would assume they did something with that on Raw.
Yeah, they had Dolph faced, I forget who he faced, and Miz was on commentary, and they had a confrontation in the ring afterwards. They had the Beat the Clock challenge matches between Dean and Seth, where the winner, whoever had the least amount of time to pin their opponent, was going to pick the stipulation for their SummerSlam match. So Dean and Ambrose got to face Alberto Del Rio, and it ended up being like 15 minutes and something seconds. And then to end the night was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus RVD. But then Justin Roberts announced that the Authority has changed this matchup. Instead of RVD, Seth's opponent was now going to be Heath Slater. So Heath Slater came out, and then Dean Ambrose came out and was pretty much distracting Seth Rollins at ringside. He took the briefcase and he stole some poor fan's Coke and popcorn and dumped it in the briefcase. He took JBL's hat and shoved it in the briefcase. Then he stood on top of the announcer's table and flinging it up. And I legit thought Michael Cole was really pissed because like water and stuff like was leaking out of the briefcase and it got all over Cole. He's like, "Oh, what the hell, man!" Like he was legit pissed because it got all over him.
That's great.
Yeah. So I thought that part was funny. Seth kept getting distracted, and it led to Heath Slater getting a quick roll-up pin on Rollins, and Seth lost the match. So it was on social media and everything, like everyone was giving Heath Slater praise and saying, for people who bust their ass and work really hard, he deserves it. He's finally getting his break. I don't see how this is a break, but.
Well, and actually it's funny because just moments before we actually started recording this, I went on and I was looking, and it looks like that Heath now is in the process. I don't know if everything's aired yet, but he's in the process of having a four win streak. So now people are thinking that maybe that WWE really is going to start to give him, going to try to give him a push, going to see where it leads to.
Please no.
I mean, me and you both feel the same, I believe, on Heath Slater, where we think he's a good dude, but he just doesn't belong in this kind of role.
He's a company guy. He's going to do whatever the company tells him to do. But I don't see the talent.
No, I never have.
I mean, he can talk on the mic and stuff, but the wrestling, the look, I honestly think the thing that I don't like about him the most is his look. I mean, he just looks. He just doesn't look like a superstar.
No, he looks weird.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, it's weird because I mean, he just doesn't look like he belongs. Now, as a manager, I'd be fine with him as a manager, but the funny thing is when you look at the three-man band, talent-wise, like wrestling talent-wise, he was the worst of the three, and he was the only one of the three that stayed.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's because he's a company man.
Yeah, I agree.
And he'll go do promotional work. He'll go do he'll do anything they ask.
Yeah.
McIntyre pretty much was screwed because the stuff that happened with his ex-wife.
Yeah. After
Tiffany.
that happened, it was done.
Yeah, like he was just in the bottom of the barrel forever.
Yeah. Like
he could never get out. Jinder Mahal, I just really think they couldn't. Yeah. I think is what it is, and it's a shame because I think for a bigger guy, he was a very good wrestler. He always had good NXT matches. He was going up against Seth Rollins in NXT, like Seth Rollins' first title defenses when he was the NXT champion was against Jinder, and they were great matches, and it was a good feud. So I always liked Jinder. I thought he had a lot of potential. I liked the gimmick if they could have gave it to him, but just the times and the era just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he really did have talent.
Yeah,
It just didn't work.
Yeah. So, anyways, they had, excuse me. Heath Slater won the match, and so Dean got to pick the stipulation. Well, that wasn't announced on Raw, but they announced that on SmackDown they were going to announce Dean's stipulation. So, if you don't want to hear it, here's the spoiler. Click off now. Okay, the spoiler is it's going to be a lumberjack match. So, yeah. So, I was personally hoping for a ladder match for the briefcase, or just a match for the briefcase or something. But I would have preferred a ladder match because I think those two could probably put on a pretty good ladder match.
Yeah, and I just thought that's what was going to happen.
Like, it kind of reminded me of, like, Triple H and The Rock got their big SummerSlam moment was in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title in '98. Like, I thought Dean and Seth are kind of almost on The Rock and Triple H's level from back then. Like, they're on the verge of stardom. This would have been a great ladder match, to have for those two and really, develop both of those guys, give themselves a big name and a good push for the future. They're going with a lumberjack match for. Yeah. I mean, I understand why, because Seth runs away and stuff like that. I understand it, but I just
should make it a cage match or something. I mean, gosh, a lumberjack match.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's more?
I think honestly, it's a way just to keep the other wrestlers that didn't make the card happy and so they can get their SummerSlam appearance fee or whatever it is.
Yeah, because we're not trying to cut any money elsewhere.
Yeah, and maybe they'll get a $9.99 subscription to the WWE.
Maybe we'll get that extra, bonus.
By the way, guys, you can order the WWE Network for $9.99 a month right now. So if you guys haven't done that yet.
Oh my God.
And then Raw ended with a contract signing between Brie Bella and Stephanie. It was basically just those two jawing at each other, talking crap. And it ended with Triple H taking the desk and pushing Brie Bella into the corner and, like, locking her in the corner, kind of, or blocking her in the corner so she couldn't move. And Stephanie took Nikki and pedigreed her right in front of Brie. Brie got out and went after Stephanie, but Stephanie kicked her, I think, or something like that, and pedigreed her again, and pedigreed Nikki, or Brie. So both of them got pedigreed, and that's kind of how the show ended. Once again, we're ending Raw with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
Does anyone really care about this?
I like the feud and where it's gone and all that, but let's face it, these two they're not top-notch wrestlers. If they were two good female wrestlers, or if even one of them was a good female wrestler, I would be like, alright, this is going to be pretty cool. But Brie is average. Stephanie hasn't wrestled in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, outside of like
it's just another. Yeah, it's like she really is the new Vince.
Yeah,
like how Vince would wrestle once in a while.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what they are going for. I mean, I'm all for seeing Stephanie in a tight sports bra and some tight shorts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm not really excited for this. I mean, it's got good build-up. I'll give them that. It's got good build-up.
Well, it's got really good build-up, unfortunately.
It's just, I really just could care less.
It's like, when you look at this card, do you care? Like if you weren't, if you didn't have the network and you weren't just getting this show, would this be a driving force in you wanting to buy this show?
No. The only thing that would drive me to buy this show would be to see Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Maybe see Jericho and Bray Wyatt, because I think they're going to put on a great match.
Let's hope.
And that might be about it. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. This is Roman Reigns' biggest test yet. A solo match. I hope they don't add anything to it. Just a one-on-one solo match, Roman Reigns versus Orton. Pure wrestling. Let's go at it. I want to see if Roman Reigns can do it. Because if not, then everybody's a hypocrite. Oh, well, Cena can't wrestle. Cena sucks. Well, Roman Reigns is just the same as Cena. Cena's a better wrestler right now than Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns does his couple of moves, and that's it. He does the same thing that Cena does.
Man.
So I want to see it. I want to see Roman actually go one-on-one in a good match, and put on a show.
But is it really fair to put that on him versus Orton?
Yes, because there's so many people that are, like, all over his nuts, like he's the next greatest
I get that, but Randy Orton is a freaking asshole, and he is sabotaging crap on live shows, we're being told, like, repeatedly to prevent this push from going through. That's not necessarily fair to put that on this match.
I understand, but it's still Roman's biggest solo match to date.
I agree. It is his biggest. I take this match with a grain of salt. I really do want to see this match, and I really do hope it's good, and I really do hope Roman shines in this match in a way for the naysayers to be like, okay, well, that was good. But,
well, I hope so, too, yes.
But to me, it's just like, I wish this was against someone like Cena, honestly. I wish it was against anyone but Orton.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to see Roman versus Triple H at this show.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, and they
it seemed like that's where they were going to go with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it for Raw, though. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Moving on. Me and Eric both watched the Paul Heyman DVD that just came out this past Tuesday. We watched it yesterday. I personally thought it was it was probably the most in-depth story of someone's life that they've ever done. They told you stuff on there that they didn't have to tell you. Like,
yeah, it was almost 2 hours. It was like an hour and 54 minutes documentary.
And it was really good. Like, me personally, I put the ECW documentary number 1. I put CM Punk very, very, very close behind, almost like 1A and 1B. And this might be right behind those as far as how much I enjoyed it. Now, part of that is because I'm nostalgic for ECW, and I absolutely love anything that has to do with ECW. I love any documentary that has to do with ECW. I've watched every documentary that has to do with ECW, and WWE's production is easily the best one, but they all kind of complement each other in different kinds of ways because of what they can and cannot do, or who they could or could not have doing interviews and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this DVD. I have not gone into looking at the promos that they have for Heyman on this DVD, but I would recommend this DVD to any single wrestling historian kind of fan ever.
I would just recommend it to any fan, even if you hate Paul Heyman.
Well, if you hate Paul Heyman, you're not going to give two craps about it, though, is my point.
Well, I think...
But it's amazing.
It's a great story. His whole story, I mean, you learn things you never knew. Like, they talked a lot about how the checks would bounce and how the finances and stuff worked in ECW, and did Vince McMahon ever pay him while he was a part of ECW? Like, you learned all that stuff. It's all broken down in this documentary, so I agree with you. I think it's the most in-depth documentary I've seen WWE do. It's definitely in my top 3. It's probably my number 2. I think I have Punk's DVD first and then this one. Third would be the Monday Night War.
Don't you even start with me. Don't you even frickin' start with me on this crap. It's not even funny. My gosh, I freaking hate that so bad.
Actually, I think the one that I liked third would either be the newest Stone Cold or the newest Rock one.
Yeah, both of those are really good. I love the direction that they've gone with documentaries. Like, they've always done a pretty good job with documentaries, but it seems
they're getting better. Yeah,
it seems like maybe from when the Stone Cold, which one? I don't remember if the Stone Cold or Rock one came out first, but it seemed like when I want to say maybe even Stone Cold, maybe even it was Punk really. It's just like they started going with a different kind of style with these documentaries, and they just keep getting better and better and better, more in-depth. For actual fans of documentaries about these people that want to know stuff, they really let you know stuff that you wouldn't expect WWE to let you know. And even on this Punk, or not the Punk one, the Heyman one, at one time he says, I'm going to say this, and it probably won't even make air. It probably won't even go into production. But then he goes on and says it, and obviously it did get on the DVD. So stuff that used to be too taboo to be told to wrestling fans is now getting told on these, and I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. This Heyman DVD was really good. The only thing that I personally did not like was I wish it would have got more in depth about Brock and CM Punk.
Yeah, I was hoping that they were going to be in depth about what he did with Punk. I mean, they told us stuff about their relationship, but we already knew that based off of the Punk DVD.
They talked about the OVW stuff, but they didn't really mention any of the WWE work they did in the last year of Punk's career.
Yeah, I mean, very little, and I don't know if they had stuff in there and it got edited out or what.
Yeah, and Brock, they only really talked about Brock's early career, and they really haven't mentioned. They've mentioned a little bit of the newer stuff, but they mentioned the streak at the beginning, and that was it.
Yeah.
So they never that's a big part of. I don't get why they didn't add that in, but
I don't either.
It's very interesting to see how he got his start, to learn about his parents, to learn about just ECW in general, how things were run and worked. So that was interesting. It was definitely a very good DVD.
Yeah, there was stuff I knew about his career. I didn't know that he was a photographer to start out, and I didn't know about how early in his life he was.
Yeah, and I didn't know about his mother. I didn't know his mom had survived the Holocaust in 3 concentration camps.
Yeah.
That was, that just shows where he got his toughness from and all that from his mother.
Yeah.
And his dad, was a personal attorney lawyer, or injury lawyer, I think it was.
Yeah, that I knew about, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff I just didn't know about, and it's a very insightful DVD. The more we're talking about it, the more and the more I actually like it because I remember stuff about it. I know people would put maybe the Eddie or Benoit DVD ahead of this, or people like that, but I really don't think I really think the New Age ones are they're on a whole other level than ones from.
I know they're doing another Cena one, and I'm hoping it's something like this where it's really in depth on John Cena.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I do too.
The newest Batista one, I watched the documentary. It was only 45 minutes long, but it was more of a follow him behind the scenes kind of thing.
Was it more like the Randy Orton one or the John Cena one from a couple of years ago where you just followed him for a couple months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear his insight on things, on how he wishes the fans would have been a little more supportive, and just all of his thoughts and stuff. It was decent, but it's not oh my god, I gotta go out and buy this.
Yeah, but this one definitely is.
Yeah, the Heyman one definitely is. The CM Punk one was. I finally watched the new Ultimate Warrior one, and I was disappointed with it because none of it's he dodged all of the criticism that he's had over his career and never mentioned any of it pretty much. He just talked about all the good stuff. And it was funny because there's one part in there where he talks about working with Andre the Giant and how he thought Andre the Giant liked him and stuff and how they got along well. And then if you watch the 2005 DVD, Bobby Heenan's Andre the Giant freaking hated this dude. He would belt him in the face on purpose.
Yeah, I think the Warrior DVD was purpose for that factor. I think they threw him into the grave as far as they possibly could on a DVD that I've ever seen and I probably will ever see. And then this one was kind of, we have to save face with you, and we want to make fans remember the good of you and stuff like that. So
they pretty much let him run the DVD.
Yeah. And I think the goal was that there was going to be more than just that one DVD. Obviously, he passed away, so that's not going to happen. But I think that was the goal. I think that there was going to be multiple DVDs with him on there, and maybe ones we're going to get a little bit more into, more in depth and more real. But yeah, this one was definitely more of like a love fest for Warrior, which right now in the grand scheme of things, I'm okay with it because shortly after he passes away, people can remember the good of Warrior. We don't want to say too many bad things about Warrior on this podcast because last time we did that, then we get called.
Well, that's good.
You get called some weird things by some religious freaks.
That's fine. We get more viewers and more people talking about the show, so if it gets controversy, who gives a fuck?
All right. Well, we were talking about CM Punk, so we're gonna go from CM Punk to CM Punk's new current wife, and that's AJ Lee. It's being shown now that AJ Lee does not let males who are getting a picture with her even touch her. Like, they can't even put a hand around her. Like, there has to be a wall between them.
Wow, I haven't heard this already.
Yeah, like, I guess something happened with a male getting a picture from the past that groped her inappropriately or something like that, which is, I don't condone that at all. That's a douchebag thing to do to someone.
Like the little kid who grabbed Daddy's boob on main event.
Yeah. But I hate this. I hate when people that are celebrities have like a no touching rule. It's like, you know what? Shut up. Like, all someone really wants to do is just get a picture with you that they can pretty much just have in their collection for like their whole life, and a cool memory. And then it's like, you do this, and it's like, it's not that cool of a memory anymore to me. It's like, if I went up to her and I was like, can I get a picture? She's like, yeah, but you can't touch me. I'd be like, oh, nah, it's all right. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, to me, that's stupid. It's like, yeah, females can touch her, but males can't. Like, what do you think? Do you think like we all want to bend you over, AJ Lee, or something like that? Come on. Yeah. Like, this is stupid. I hated reading this, and it's just stupid. It pisses me off when this happens. It happened to, what other celebrity? Oh, Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne did this a couple of months ago, or maybe even close to a year ago, where like males can't touch her now. It's like, God, you look so stupid.
Like I said, I never heard any of this, so that's news to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, though. I mean, I agree with you. It's not like every guy is going to touch you is going to rape you.
Yeah. Like, they just want to put their hand around your shoulder or whatever and just have a cool picture.
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Yeah, or slide their hand down your back and grab your ass. I mean, that's probably what I would do. I still just remember the little kid on main event grabbing Natty's boob.
He was so excited, too.
Yeah, and he got full on grab.
He got a full hand. He got a full hand. Good for that kid. That kid's my hero.
That's fucking great.
He got to do something that I would love to do, and I will never get to do.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Natty, that's the one thing I liked about the Heyman DVD is, like, you would never think Heyman and Natty were friends or anything, but, like, you see how many friends and people Heyman has, affected in the WWE.
Yeah. I love the Renee Young thing, too.
Yeah, Renee Young. Well, I kind of knew that because they've worked together. But the one that I found interesting, and they actually let him talk, was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, wow, this is the first time I've ever heard Bray, like, kind of out of character and talking.
Yeah.
So that was really weird and very cool at the same time. I know me and you have personally been looking forward to this DVD for like a year.
Yeah, ever since we heard about this, we needed to see it.
And the next one for me is Sting, obviously.
Yeah, so. But there's no documentary on it.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure that's what someone told me. There's not going to be any documentary on this first one. It's just going to be a collection of his matches. Like, it might be a kind of thing where he might shortly talk about something, but they don't. I mean, maybe it has to do with the fact that he doesn't really have any kind of deal in place at all.
Well, I mean, all he could really talk about is WCW stuff.
Yeah.
he can't talk about TNA stuff, and he was in TNA for almost 10 years.
Was it really?
It was 2005.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
No.
He was there for at least 8 to 9 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. But yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I understand, it's not going to be a documentary the first time. What I am excited about, though, is, the new Macho Man.
Oh, wait, hold on. By the way, guys, you can get the WWE Network for $9.99 if you guys haven't done so yet. Okay, go ahead. You're
not going to hear me say that crap. Yeah, the Macho Man one that's coming out, that's probably the next one.
Yeah, it's 6-disc.
Is it 6 discs?
Yeah, I heard a 6-disc.
Talk about Ultimate Collection.
Yeah. And you know what, though? To be honest, that's one of the, stars that I kind of grew up in the era of that I really don't know anything about. I really, honestly don't know anything about him because the first time I remember him when I was watching wrestling was the NWO Savage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I started watching wrestling, so I never really watched the WWF Savage. So I was never a big fan of his. I was never a fan of his. I never liked Lex Luger either.
A lot of people didn't like Lex Luger. I think I was blind to the hate of Lex Luger until recently. Unfortunately, Lex Luger, we are getting I did see a report this week that Lex Luger's health is really in the crapper. He's now wheelchair bound, maybe for the rest of his life. Yeah, it seemed like he was like that a couple years ago. And then he was getting better. He was able to walk a little bit. Then he was able to use a cane, which he was kind of just driven to a cane now. But I guess at a recent Legends kind of event, yeah, he was in a wheelchair and he looks really bad apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you see that with a lot of guys nowadays. I mean, I remember Lex Luger as this big, muscle-bound dude. He was huge.
And it's so weird to see him a shelf that.
Yeah, he's really skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby the Brain Heenan the same way. I mean, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Yeah, so it's just. I mean, I know it's nothing it's just how things are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad to see that stuff.
Next thing I wanted to kind of talk about was the fact that a couple people are going to be, at least they're rumored to be put up to the main WWE roster from NXT. And,
okay, yeah, I saw this.
And those two people are Charlotte and Kalisto. Charlotte is the current NXT Women's Champion, and Kalisto is my. I have a man crush on this guy or something as a wrestler. This guy is awesome. I love him. I can't wait to see him get put up to the main roster.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see these guys, $9.99 on the WWE Network, you guys can see these Charlotte and Kalisto. So just make sure you pay your $9.99 to WWE.
That's never going to end. That better end.
Charlotte, I would say above average wrestler. I mean, she's not she's very athletic for her size. She's a lot bigger than her dad.
Oh yeah, she's real tall.
Yeah, she's real tall. She's not terrible. When we first watched her, we thought she was terrible, but she's actually not that bad. I would say she's a little bit above average.
I'm going to say this. I'm super excited for Charlotte to be on the main roster.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Paige, and I don't know what they're making Paige a heel, and it's she was never a heel in NXT, and I don't know if she's kind of good, but I think she's way better just face.
Here's why I am excited for Charlotte to be on the main roster. Because the quicker this non-talent Flair gets on the main roster, the quicker everyone's going to realize that she is a bag of garbage. And she sucks.
Oh my God.
I hate her. I hate her so much. She is worthless.
Wow.
She's in this company because of her last name of Flair. She is ugly. She is talentless. She does not deserve that title. She doesn't deserve to come out to Ric Flair's mixed up music. She doesn't
even deserve to get paid $9.99.
No, she doesn't even deserve the bonus of the WWE Network. Like, am I being a little harsh on her? Yes. She's okay, I guess. As far as the women's, I mean, you can't expect too much out of the women divas right now. So as far as her being bunched together with them, she's okay. But she's horrible. Give me Sasha Banks over Charlotte. Sasha's more talented than her.
The thing, I don't know about that one, but
I like Sasha. I think Sasha. I don't know if Sasha has a chance because I don't think Sasha has charisma.
The thing with the divas, I have no faith in them because creative is terrible with them.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible. The only one they've ever wrote for that was any decent was AJ.
Yeah.
Like, they waste Natalia. They're wasting Emma right now. Paige, I think, is being wasted right now. You know, the Bellas, Naomi, you know, you name it, and they're getting wasted. Like, just...
The only reason that some of these women are even being developed is because people watch Total Divas. It's not because WWE Creative is creating their stories.
Yeah, and like the only reason they kept Rosa Mendez is because the E! Network said, "Oh, we'd like to have Rosa on next year's Total Divas."
Oh, that's going to be great for anyone that watches that show.
Yeah, and I watch it. I think it's a good show.
Yeah, I haven't watched it this year. I kept forgetting to tape it, but I don't mind it. I mean, it's on the WWE Network, so you can watch it the first season there. But
that's all old stuff.
Yeah, and what's the first season? What are we on now? The second or third season?
This will be the third season coming up when it airs. I think it airs in September. I think.
Okay. Oh, so the season that was on just a little bit ago is already over?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's been over. It's been over for months.
How many episodes did they air even then? Like 8?
They probably 12.
Okay.
I mean, there was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It ended with, I think the last episode was Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania, and their wedding was like the next day or two after WrestleMania, and all that stuff happened. So that was pretty much the end of it, of that season.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have to catch up and watch it. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad show. I mean, for guys that are like, oh, it's just about women, that's stupid. No,
I mean it is about women, but it's just we're wrestling junkies. I mean, I tap my vein every day, and I'm like a fucking junkie. So I gotta, it's I watch it. It's interesting. I mean, I'm a male. I obviously want to see all the chicks.
Yeah, I mean, and they do have some of the guys on there. Like you do see stuff about Cena and Bryan and Uso.
I think the Usos are hilarious on that show.
Yeah, they really are.
I've liked the Usos more because of Total Divas.
Yeah, like I liked them in NXT a lot, and then I watched that, and I even liked them more. So, and that also can be said of maybe why they're getting pushed a little bit as well because they're on there as well.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we were even talking about that we got put onto this. Oh yeah. Okay. So Charlotte, we talked about her. What do you think about Kalisto?
I've watched him a couple times. I mean, he's definitely very talented. He was, a big indie name and all that. He's just like another Sin Cara to me, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put him in Sin Cara's level, though.
Well, I'm sure he's better than Sin Cara, but I'm just saying it's like the same...
I think he has more of the WWE style of being able to do cruiserweight kind of... He reminds me mostly of a Rey Mysterio. A legit one. Like, they've gotten people to try to make into a Rey Mysterio. This is like a legit kind of new wave Rey Mysterio. And he does move so fluidly. He can talk a little bit. I mean, that's the big hit against Rey Mysterio is that he can never talk. This guy can talk a little bit. He'll grow into it. But I'm excited to see him get up there and see what they do with him. And I hope they don't just throw him with Sin Cara. And okay, you guys both have costumes that look somewhat similar in a sense. This guy, I mean, his costume's kind of like a mini Ultimo Dragon in a way, where he's got like little flaps everywhere and everything. I love it. Love watching this guy just run around and do flips and shit.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. I mean, he'll definitely come up. They had the Ascension is another one that was mentioned. They're definitely a very talented team, so we'll see what they do with those guys, too.
I mean, they got to just put them on the main roster at this point because they've been talking about it for a long time. The Ascension's gone through multiple different members to get to this level. They're more watered down now than they used to be, but they are still a great tag team, and they keep doing this thing in TNA. Oh my God, TNA! I apologize. Oh my God, I want to slap myself for saying that. They've been saying in NXT a lot that there's just no more talent for them, and it's like, well, then at this point, if you keep doing that gimmick, when it's true, because they don't really develop many good tag teams in NXT right now. They did have good ones, and they don't really that much anymore. At this point, just let them go. Just let them go up. There's nothing to do in NXT. They're not going to progress any more in NXT. So just let them see what they can do. The last topic I had for the day was some that you brought up, and that's the fact that Hulk Hogan is going to be returning. What is it, next week? Or this coming up week, I mean?
On Raw, yeah.
It's been rumored that there's going to be guests. One rumor is that there's going to be somewhat of an NWO reunion. So it'd be cool if they actually did get Scott Hall back on there and Nash. And you can get Six. And who else could you even get that's still alive?
Horace Hogan.
Oh, Horace Hogan.
They can bring back Vincent. He's always hurt for money.
I will guarantee you, if they told him we will sport you 1 year of WWE Network, he would be in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know who else, but I think they're just trying to do Nash and Hall. That's it.
Do you think they're going to bring Flair for that week or something?
They might. I mean, they have him under contract, so.
It'd be kind of cool if they could get Sting for that. But
I would love to see Eric Bischoff, but that won't happen.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be awesome to get Eric Bischoff.
I want to see Bischoff in a leather jacket and jet black hair.
He better dye his hair.
Yep.
I would love that.
Me too, but it won't happen.
No, it's not going to happen. So yeah, that should be exciting for Raw. It seems I'm obviously, like I said, I didn't watch this past week. I will go back and watch it. It's just I was pissed off. But it seems like this week's Raw was just average at best. The week prior was
average.
It was pretty average. There was Brock Lesnar, right, and that was about it. So hopefully this week they'll get back on top of things because they're just so inconsistent with Raws. Some are good, some are bad. But the fact that Hulk Hogan is going to be on there, it's going to be exciting. People will tune in for that. Also, it's being reported now that Hulk Hogan says that he wants to have another match again.
Oh God, that's a topic for another show.
Yeah. that's an hour-long topic.
Let's just not even talk about it.
All right. Well, unless you have something, I think we're going to end the show right there.
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay.
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in this week. We will be back again next Friday, where we will be talking about Hulk Hogan and why he always wants to wrestle until he's dead. Thank you.
Yep. And make sure you guys get the WWE Network for $9.99.
Later.